welcome back to Metropole Television. This is the last part of our conversations this morning, and I would like to say the most entertaining thereof. All right, so let's talk about the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, there have been talks about the companies or the businesses that have lost dearly because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Conversations also about how businesses have been forced to conform or change or adapt. There have also been conversations of how businesses have been forced to take a break. This morning, therefore, we're going to look at it from an IT perspective this morning. All right, so the question being, therefore, how does IT come in this time during COVID-19 pandemic? Just to help us understand how IT companies are finding a position within this COVID-19 pandemic, we have Tom Mushukum. He is, just trying to get the title correctly, a fantastic business development manager, Kepler 9 Information Technologies. Tom, welcome to Metropole TV.
Thank you.
I want us to start from a very basic perspective. Okay. Tell me about your company, Kepler 9 Information Technologies.
Okay, thank you for the invite. Kepler 9 IT is an IT company.
Yes.
And its mandate or its purpose is to provide IT solutions for SMEs,
yes,
basically. Mm-hmm. So by IT solutions, I mean, custom-made software, websites, e-commerce. That's our line of business.
Pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. How long have you been in business?
We've been in business for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
Pretty much.
Years, yeah.
So you're really trying to break this industry, therefore. All right. Now, I just want to understand, therefore, how are you finding business within this COVID-19 pandemic?
Interesting question. As you're all aware that in this COVID-19 time, everyone is trying to go digital.
Yes.
Working from home, trying to automate stuff. So we're actually quite busy. Companies which didn't have systems, now they're realizing the importance of systems.
Yes.
Companies which don't know the meaning of remote working is when they're trying to understand and implement, remote working, and you can't do that without some IT implementation on it.
Yes. Interesting you say that this is the time where you found yourselves that you're very, very busy. So what sort of services you've been giving companies? And I want you to talk to me about SMEs. What sort of new services are you therefore giving to SMEs that in reality back then you wouldn't even think that you're supposed to go to that line?
If I can give an example.
Yes.
The SMEs that we've been working with, there's an SME we've worked with, it's in the cosmetic industry.
Yes.
And one thing they're trying to learn is selling without the customer being present.
I see.
So that entails e-commerce basically. So how does one order and get it in time,
yes,
with as little friction as possible?
Yes.
So that is one area that people are tapping into in the physical space.
Yes.
The other one is project management. So by project management, basically is if you have got guys working on from home, or you've got shifts, because there are some companies which are operating on shifts, who is managing what, who is keeping track of what, because there's a way that if somebody is working from home or remotely, the company needs to know what you're up to.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So that involves some project management skills and some project management software.
Yes.
So that's what we've been really embarking on,
yes,
just to make operations as smooth as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I just want to ask you this question, Tom, just before we continue therefore, just to learn exactly how the business world is operating.
Okay.
There is this information that the only companies that are benefiting now, I just want you to confirm to me whether it's true or false, mm-hmm, is companies that already had a developed online system that is to enable their functions remotely. Mm-hmm. And number two, IT companies, because now more than ever is when they're being sought after, just to give companies that didn't have these digital solutions just to have them right now. Is it true?
Yeah, there's some truth. There's some truth in it.
Yes, yes.
In technology,
mm-hmm,
the first one always wins.
Yes.
Meaning, if you implement technologies way before you even before everyone else,
yes,
if you're ahead of the curve, mm-hmm, you will always benefit. Because now the problem we are facing is everyone is now rushing.
I see.
And telling us we need an e-commerce software. We don't have a system. You know, we can't keep track of orders, something like that.
Yes.
So, but the people who had implemented it before, they're actually reaping the benefits. They are not feeling, you know, much negative impact as compared to the rest.
Yes.
You know, and in terms of hardware sales, of course, now guys are buying, you know, printers, laptops, you know, to work and set up a small office at home. Mm-hmm. So I can say pretty much as long as you had positioned yourself nicely and you had a good customer base, you should be gaining some traction.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. Now the question therefore comes is everybody talking about how IT companies now are more busier than ever. We're talking about increased workflows within your company. How have you been able to readjust yourself also as well with this COVID-19 pandemic?
I have had to increase employees on a part-time basis.
Yes.
Because now the other issue we are facing that
it's really interesting you're speaking about increasing employees when companies are talking about reducing employees.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, everyone operates on a different level.
Yes.
I know most companies have been reducing employees, mm-hmm. but in our case, we had to actually take in, you know, some people, but on a part-time or project-based basis.
Yes.
And the reason is, what is actually very key now for us is not the technology itself, but the speed of delivery.
I see.
So someone wants something done like yesterday.
Yes.
Yes. That was the challenge we faced, because now everyone is...
Because this demand,
exactly.
Isn't that you had not seen coming through?
And
yes.
We didn't see it coming.
Yes.
And we've been preaching it, mm-hmm. of course, since we started.
Which was actually my next question, since you're there.
Yes. Because the purpose of the company was just to automate processes, basically.
Yes.
Yes, that was our selling point. How do you automate processes? Mm-hmm. How do you make sure that activities go on with little to no input on your end?
Yes.
Yes, that was the whole mission behind the company.
Yes. Let's have a look at it as well. I know you work with SMEs. How or what was the biggest challenge therefore for these SMEs now to sort of transform themselves fully digitally? When you look at them, what are the biggest challenges that most of the SMEs have been having?
It's an interesting question.
Yes.
They've had several challenges. Mm-hmm. One being finance, because now they don't want to spend.
I see.
Everyone is checking their cash flow very critically.
Yes.
The other I could say is most SMEs don't understand what needs to be automated. So it is more of a random-based, mm-hmm. you know, copy and paste kind of strategy, because someone will come and tell you, you know, I need to track what my employees at home are doing. And we need to sit down and know if that is the real gain or the biggest process in that business.
Yes.
So most people are rushing for technologies, but they are not aware of what needs, which side or what kind of technology I need for my... Remember the technology that we implement, we are trying to reduce friction between processes.
I see.
So if it's delivering, you know, like products to customers or buying, so how can we make that process, you know, as smooth as possible, with little friction as possible?
Yes.
So that is another challenge, because guys are asking for things that are not necessarily important to their business.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you found yourself now more than ever also now going into educating these SMEs, like what they need now, as opposed to just doing sales to them?
Actually, that's what we've been doing.
Yes.
And we do that as a consultancy part of our business.
Yes.
Whereby we study your business and we tell you, this and this is what you need to cut.
I see.
This and this is what you need to automate.
Yes.
And these are the people that you need to do A, B, C, D.
Yes.
So it's actually a time-taking process, because that's what, because if you don't get it right there, developing the system later won't be of much value to the company.
All right.
So that is what is actually very important to us.
When you look at the SMEs in Kenya, I know right now everybody's talking about economic packages to SMEs that are the most affected. How would you rate the adoption of your solutions, IT solutions? Just paint me a picture of some of them that you've spoken to as Kepler and Kepler 9, and then you go like, how would you rate the adoption rate?
it's interesting because initially we were really struggling to train, SMEs on how to use, systems and all that.
Yes.
But in this COVID-19 pandemic, you're finding that the learning rate of the employees or the SMEs is actually quite fast, as opposed, because one of the challenges we used to face is we used to work with a lot of SMEs with a very old employee demographic. You find that most of the employees are between the ages of 45 and above.
I see.
So you find that sometimes, trying to change them into a new system was kind of a challenging affair. But right now, you train someone, and within hours they're implementing already.
Yes.
So the uptake is actually quite surprising. Yes. So there is no those challenges that we used to face before, whereby, because the issue of systems is getting the people to adapt and to learn, and it usually takes a lot of time, because if they don't adapt, that system becomes useless.
Yes.
But right now, for some reason or another, the adoption is actually quite fast.
Yes.
And they are learning at a very fast rate.
Yes.
And they're actually even giving you feedback.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Like we need this punch.
Yes, we need this.
Would you say that has been necessitated now by the fact that you gotta be in business whether you like it or not?
Yes.
Yes.
True.
All right. Yeah. Now, I just want you to talk to me, therefore, about this SME, therefore. I know they're listening to you this morning and they're wondering, right, so where do we start from? Now, for an SME that wants to transform itself digitally, they'll come to your company and then say, well, we'll give us solutions. We want to be in business during this time. And I want to talk to you to areas that have been heavily affected. You've seen how restaurant business has been heavily affected in the country, tourism business as well, heavily hit. So for somebody coming to you as an SME, where do they start to transform themselves digitally from?
First of all, the first step on any transformation it requires critical thinking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is the first step, and knowing what gains you can get. If I can take the example of a restaurant, depending on the class of restaurant, it could be a high-end, middle, or low-end. The first thing is to ask yourself is, do you need the physical space, first of all?
I see.
Okay.
I see.
Can you get a cheaper, space that you can offer? Because now the issue is not guys coming and sitting down. The issue is them getting food.
Isn't it? That's what matters now.
That's what matters now.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
If that is not possible, the other maybe option will be, how do you then design your space such that now, because now you can't sit in a crowded area, you can't sit four,
yes,
like before. So how do you design your space such that now you can have the maximum number of people at the same time they are safe? Although it will be quite challenging, but I'm imagining a waiter serving you with his PPEs and all
the
that, and the mask and all that.
Yes.
So that's why I've said it requires actually critical thinking.
Yes.
Because now you have to think and consult as widely as possible.
Yes.
And then again, you have to ask yourself, are we doing this for the long run, or are we doing this for the short run?
I see.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So the design thinking principles are usually like giving my customers usually think in the terms of if and then. Mm-hmm. If the pandemic goes on up to December, then this is what I'll do.
I see.
If the pandemic ends, like now the president said they can open. So if the pandemic, or rather the COVID ends in around May, this is what I can do. Because right now you can't implement very long-term strategies because
yes,
it's a day-by-day basis. So
yes,
that's the kind of thinking that it requires a sit-down of minds and come up with a strategy quickly and possible.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Now, the question is also now, Tom, whether you like it or not, mm-hmm, is that COVID-19 pandemic has become like a lesson for every other company, either local economy or global economy. Even for IT companies like your company, yeah, I know you've been thrown into scenarios when you say, we gotta change the way we do this.
True.
So talk to me about your company post-COVID-19. Are you bound to change in any way? Are you morphing now just because you've been taught lessons by COVID-19?
Yes, we're also learning some lessons.
Yes.
The biggest lesson I can say we've learned is trust. Trust that your employees will do whatever it takes will do their roles.
Even if you don't see them.
If you don't see them. I think that's the biggest, because initially, the purpose of offices was, you know, you got to be there physically, you know, you got to peep in and check. But now we got to shift our minds and come out of that kind of archaic mindset. And, you know, that's how business have been run, you know, from your first job. That's how it was. So it really requires a radical shift. You know, you have to trust, and the employees have to know that they have to be trustworthy, that whatever is mandated to them is done with little or no supervision. Okay. So that is the biggest lesson for us, is that we have to, you know, give it a chance to trust. Yes, we have to trust our people, trust our systems, that they will deliver.
And sort of rethink what physical business is really, isn't it?
Yes. The second, of course, is, you know, remote working. You know, is productivity the same when someone is there in the office or at home? So that's another thing we've learned. We've learned actually that productivity is actually very high, because now you can work on your own terms as long as you deliver. So productivity has been high. With people working from home. So those are the key things that we didn't see them coming. But going forward, even after the COVID-19 issue, we are seeing we'll still stick to that.
Pretty much. All right, finally, therefore, as we cap this conversation, they want to talk to you, therefore. Where can they get you? How can they get you?
Basically, our website. Our website is our biggest asset, which is kepler9.co.ke. Pretty much right there, they can get everything, you know, our contacts, our emails, and everything else.
What's your promise as a company?
Delivering sustainable results.
Fantastic. Tom, thank you very much for coming to the studio this morning. All right, now that's exactly how we shape up. Well, that IT companies now, more than ever, are the busiest. When we're talking about job losses, they are getting more because you need them more. Now, want to get those solutions, you do know what to do. Kepler 9. Get to the website, talk to them. They'll actually give you solutions to your IT needs as a business, which is the biggest need right now. That's how we end the show this morning. But remember, talk to Tom directly. 2146. Take him back to the time that he came into the studio this morning, so you can learn exactly how you need to transform your company digitally during this COVID-19 pandemic, when in reality, your business should be going on. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiange. I'll see you at 10 and 11 for Metropole News with the BIZ AM team that has been with you all the way from around 6:45 a.m. It is goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow.